there, and welcome back to another one of my thrilling videos. So today I'm going to be talking to you again about kind of cameras which I find in charity shops, shoot with them and then share the results, hopefully, at least with this one. What we're looking at here today is a Coronet 1220, which is a kind of, as they say, a pseudo TLR, kind of like not a true TLR. You know, when you compare it to, say, the one I reviewed on my channel a few weeks back, the Helena AI or A1, which is kind of like a truer TLR camera, or those types. And this camera was made in Birmingham circa apparently 1950. So this camera's about 70 plus years old, or 70 years old. So there was two models. There was the regular model, and I'm reliably informed that there was a colour filter model. And this is the one here, and by that the colour filter would enable you to take better shots in certain types of environments, I think like bright sunshine. Not a total expert, but that was why the filter was included. So this is your classic bare bones kind of point and shoot camera back from the 50s. Now if you remember the last video I shot with the Helena, I used some expired Ilford 120 film, and I had one more reel left, and they were expired film. I think it was from April 2008. Had an ISO of 50. So as this is a 120 film camera, or I think it used to also take 620 film. I don't know what that is. I used the 120 film in this. So let's just have a little look at the camera. And I just want to say that I got it in this kind of like brown bag, and a lot of these old brown bags used to have like Kodak brownies in them and various other cameras. A lot of people, not on this one, a lot of people would write like their name and address on the bags or the insides, in case they probably left them on a train. It's probably in the days where your camera wouldn't be stolen. Yeah, I just thought I'd just show you that was a kind of classic bag, or the normal kind of bag you'd see photographers carrying around with them. So anyway, let's get back to the camera. Let's let that focus up just a moment. Okay, so on the front you have your viewfinder here, and you have your lens here. Now this is a pretty straightforward camera, and that there's a couple of caveats that I'm going to talk about, but there's a point where I really do hope that this works, because if this takes even average pictures, I may consider holding on to it just because of its absolute simplicity. So on the front here, around the lens, I'm going to try and bring this in. You have got two settings. I'm going to move the little bar up here. So let's let that focus. So at the top here it says DIST, which is for distant, and then here you've got, if you can see, it says near. Effectively, if you want to take a picture of your friend close up, then you put it to near. And if you want to take a picture of your friend in the distance, or you want to take a landscape picture, then you put it to distance. I realise it's just not focusing there, but yeah, you just whack it onto distant. So yeah, so that is effectively all you do. It's either a picture which is near, or a picture which is distant. Now, as we said earlier, this is the colour filter model, and I'm informed that it's a green filter. Now let me talk to you about how this works on this camera. So if you just bear with me, I'm just going to see if I can show you this. Okay, so on the top here, if this focuses up for me, it says, in brilliant sunshine, use built-in colour filter for cloud pictures, landscapes, etc., but not for portraits. So when I was using this camera, I was using them only for portraits, so I didn't use the filter. And then it says use separate close-up lens for subjects between, I think that says 3 feet and 8'6" on the camera. I don't think that would be inches. So what you would do is, on the camera on the side here, again, let's let this focus in so you can see. Here it says filter, and then here is a timer button, but it doesn't work. I don't understand how that works. And here is your shutter. And if we look at the front of the camera here, you should see it. So firing nicely. Now if I pull the filter out, and I'm hoping somebody's going to tell me, I can't see anything happening at all. So I guess the filter is going to be somewhere inside the mechanism. I don't know. I haven't taken this camera apart because I don't generally like to do that. but I can't see any filter, so I don't know if the filter's broken off or if it's inside the camera. Similarly, also to the Helena, the viewfinder is on the top and it's kind of mirrored. So when you open the viewfinder here, it takes a little bit of getting used to. If you get too close to it, you can't see anything, and then if you kind of stand back, as you can see there, you can see an image. But if you give this to somebody to hold, they're going, oh, I can't see anybody, and you say, yeah, it's slightly mirrored, you have to kind of turn the opposite way. But I quite like it. It's very reflective. It's a little bit grubby, but it did the job. And that was one of the caveats. So I shot with 120 film from that batch, and the last batch was great. Now again, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this on this, but there's a little bit of grubbiness on the lens. Again, I didn't want to open it up just yet. I cleaned the lens before I went out, but it looks like there might be a little bit of fungus, a little bit of dust in there. But if it's working, then I may just unscrew it and clean it up. But in the meantime, I just wanted to test it as it was to see how it would function. And it's lovely on the bottom to see made in England, isn't that lovely? So we talked about the type of film for this camera, which is 120. So I'm not going to demonstrate how to do it because it's the same loading as any 120. If you want to open it, oh, just undo the little lip there, and this comes out the side. And if you look at the Helena video, we kind of talk similarly about it there, but you'll always have a spool left over in the camera, and that's from the last film. This spool goes onto the top. The film gets loaded in on the bottom there. This clips into the two little pins, and then basically you pull the piece of paper out, thread it over the top, thread it into the top, and then basically you start rotating until it says that it's coming up to the exposed. You put it back into put it back into the camera, and then you wind it on, and you just look through the little hole here until it's on exposure 1, and then you are basically ready to go. The mechanism itself, I'm just going to shut this properly just for the purposes of doing the review. No, that's badly done. That's badly done. Right, lock. Yep, so the mechanism was a little bit clunky. It took me a little while to get it to thread through, but fortunately all was good. Also having a bit of a rainstorm here. It's quite nice, the sound of rain, isn't it? It was a little bit clunky, but I got it to work. So, you know, all in all, it was just a case of loading the film up, going out, and just basically putting it on either near or distant, and just basically taking pictures of whoever you wanted to. So there's a part of me that really hopes that this camera is still functioning as it should. I was a little bit concerned about the looseness of this in regards to light leak, but I made sure I kind of shut it every time. I'm not expecting the pictures to come out fantastically. I'm expecting them to be maybe affected by maybe some of the dirt, maybe some of the little bits of lens fungus. But like I say, if it works, I'm very tempted to keep the camera just because it is so simple. There's no messing about. Just pop your film in and see how it goes. Now, I'm actually waiting to get these pictures back, so I haven't actually seen them yet. So that's going to be interesting. But I thought I'd make the video now to save me time. So, do you own a Coronet 1220? Have you ever used one? So that is me signing off, and please let me know your thoughts. See you later.